Hello everyone, welcome back to another weather video. Today we'll be talking about tropical storm soon to be Hurricane Idalia here. This is the latest cone forecast. This is the 4 p.m. advisory that just came out here. The storm is currently at 987 millibars and max sustained winds of 70 miles per hour and is moving due north at 8 miles per hour. Notice here in the red that's in southwest Cuba and the Panhandle and the Big Bend of Florida here is hurricane warnings in effect. In the blue that stretches anywhere from the Yucatan, Cuba, and into Florida here is tropical storm warning, and anywhere in the yellow that stretches anywhere from South Carolina all the way down into the Keys too is a tropical storm watch. And I expect as the storm gets a move on and gets to maybe about here, tropical storm watches will be added for North Carolina here. At this time, it is most likely this storm will be major hurricane when it makes a landfall around, let's say, 7 a.m. Wednesday to 1 p.m. Wednesday as a major hurricane, 120 miles per hour. Sustained winds gusting higher than that. This storm is a real deal. There's no other way to put it. This storm is going to cause damage anywhere that stretches anywhere from now Cuba all the way into North Carolina, whether it be wind, tornado, storm surge, or rain. This storm is going to cause major. Now on my screen now is Idalia. The cloud cover, notice how it's starting to expand here. The storms are starting to get real intense by the core. And notice here, notice this little spin here, and then you got stuff coming out down here. This storm is getting ready to take off. This storm by tomorrow will be a completely different storm than now, which is 6:46 p.m. Eastern Time. This storm is getting out of unfavorable conditions. It wasn't really unfavorable to begin with, but the conditions it's about to go in now, even warmer temperatures in the Gulf here. Last year, the storm couldn't ask for a better thing to ask for here. Once it gets past Cuba and it gets into little to no shear, this storm is going to go under rapid intensification, and that's time frame from 12 hours before landfall to landfall is when we will see this storm become a completely different entity of its own. We saw today with Franklin, the storm went from a Cat 1 to Cat 4 in what, 12 hours? That's ridiculous. And this storm probably will do the same. I'm not sure if it'll get to Category 4 strength, but it will definitely get to a Category 3 strength as predicted. This is from the National Weather Service here, and this is what they put out for now. Anywhere in the gray that stretches all the way from Miami all the way into the panhandle of Florida here, what most western part of the panhandle I should say, is winds less than 39 miles per hour. So 20-30 mile an hour winds with some gusty winds you could say, and showers, light rain. Nothing too crazy. But anywhere in the yellow I should say, is tropical storm force winds that stretch all the way, almost all the way into southeastern parts of Florida, all the way back into the panhandle again. In the orange is tropical storm force winds nearing hurricane strength. That's once again stretches from the panhandle into central Florida. In the red here is hurricane strength or greater that stretch all the way from pretty much central Florida and a little bit of South Carolina here. And anywhere in the purple is where you're going to see your category 2 minimum wind speed here, if not higher. That's where your landfall probably will be, and you get that intense core winds right over you. If we want to expand this out a little bit more, notice how there's a little gap here, which I don't know why, but if you want to extend it out like this, and if you're in one of these areas, you could take an educated guess on which one you'd be. Orange will probably be here, and yellow will probably be in here. But back to the interior portions of the southeast here, notice once the storm gets off the coast pretty much, or right along the coast, if not on it, more further inland in South and North Carolina and Georgia, you also have a threat for wind. Now back to the storm surge, where this is almost sickening to look at. Anywhere in the yellow is 1 feet above the ground, so western panhandle all the way down into the Keys, back into North and South Carolina. and the eastern parts of Florida. Orange is 3 feet above ground, so once again, panhandle to southwestern Florida, back up to South Carolina and southeastern portions of Georgia. In the red here, this is where you get 6 feet above ground, which is crazy to say, let alone possibility of being 9 feet above the ground here in the purple. Red, that stretches from Tampa, St. Petersburg, all the way back into Panhandle once again, and purple, where you could see above 9 feet, possibly up to 11, 12 feet, is where your landfall is, and this area needs to be evacuated immediately. I don't even care if you want to say, oh, I'll write it out. 9 to 11 feet of storm surge is no joke, let alone, let's put it with the flooding threat. Potential for major flooding too in the red that stretches not just in Florida, all the way into southeast Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. This isn't a joke, guys. This storm is going to be massive. Let alone the shelf right here, that allows all the storm surge to go one way. It cannot escape, unlike the eastern side of Florida, where yes, it's shallow, but it's not as shallow. It could go back out here. But with the storm circulation going right into the coast, like this, persistent for hours on end, plus with the full moon, I believe that we'll have. I saw somebody say that. This is going to be really, really bad. And then on top of this, you also have a tornado threat. That's potential for several tornadoes all the way in central Florida, all the way back into the Big Bend. Guys, this storm is no joke. If you are, I would say anywhere from, let alone the red area, bare minimum, I would evacuate immediately. Even if you're on the coast of these orange spots, I would also be very cautious, let alone on the border of getting right out of there. If this storm wants to shift on the southern side of this, maybe a little bit more south, and go possibly into Tampa and what a little bit north, these areas go straight into the red. Like this storm, I would not take a chance with this if I was me personally. But I get this is if it were to be one state that could handle it the best, it would be anywhere in the south. So let alone Florida. So as bad as this is, don't overestimate yourself in this. Be as precautious as you can because this storm is once again. I know I keep repeating myself, but it really is no joke. Thank you guys for watching. I hope if you are watching anywhere from this area, you stay safe and have a wonderful